Yeah, this is BMW GS 310. Look at this monster. BMW GS 1250. Even this bike looks dope. F900R BMW. Naked bike. 900cc. This can be compared with Duke 890, Street Triple RS, Z900. Major changes ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ BS4 ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ BS6 ಗೆ?
Right by wire. Then you're getting adjustable brake and clutch lever.
Adjustable braking clutch lever, okay.
LED consoles. LED
ಮುಂದೆನಾ?
DRL.
Okay, first ಏನಿತ್ತು?
LEDs ನೋಡಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ DRL.
Okay.
Low beam, high beam. ಅದೊಂದು refinement ಅನ್ನೋದು.
Okay, and they have changed the design a bit, I think. Stickers and all.
Because Rally Edition is the Rally Edition.
And
we have another one, Cosmic Black. That is the 40 years of anniversary GS celebration.
Okay, there's another one, 40 years of anniversary.
For the GS celebration.
Okay. Okay, this is how it looks. Heli. Nothing, no electronics like traction control or riding mode, something. Nothing, okay. Okay.
Every customer who's taken a test ride, they have only like
suspension. Spot on. Okay.
Very good.
Is it adjustable? Adjustable or fixed?
Adjustable.
But
we recommend not to do.
Okay.
Because the compatibility differs.
Okay. You recommend not to make any changes in the suspension.
Changes on the seat. We have 3 level adjustment on this.
Okay. How can we adjust?
You can either increase the seat height or decrease the seat height.
Where can we do that?
No, that will be additional accessory. Oh no, it's a complete seat.
It's a complete seat altogether.
So that will be reducing internally by reducing 15 mm or increasing 15 mm. The main thing when the reduction happens, the cushioning from here becomes narrow.
Okay.
So that your thighs become closer to the body. And so if you have only an auto, you are easy to reach on your foot.
There is no cornering ABS, traction, nothing, right? Okay.
Good to go?
Thank you, man. Okay, ABS is on. He's a nice guy, man. Nice sales guy. Has given the briefing about this bike. He said already around 800 plus customers have ridden this test ride bike, and it has done only 718 kilometers. Okay, comfortable auto, sir. Nodi ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ comfortable riding posture, man. Very nice. I feel as if I'm sitting in a couch. So damn comfortable to sit on this bike and ride. Let me check the throttle response a bit. Braking response is also kind of okay because this is a test ride bike. He said people have already ridden this left, right, center, and couple of times they have dropped this bike here and there. So now I'll have to go straight. Let me check the throttle response over here. I think it performs well in the mid-range, not in the lower rev. Braking response is adequate, not too bad, not too good. Where do I need to go? Straight. Clutch is again light. I can change the gear in one finger. Just observe. I'm 5'10". I can comfortably keep my feet flat on the ground, as you can see. Seat is soft, comfortable. Riding posture is up front. Vidhan Sauda, Bengaluru. I have ridden KTM Adventure 390 as well. The initial pickup in ADV 390 is slightly better than this bike. However, for adventure bikes we don't need a lot of power delivery in lower revs, but It performs well after mid-range. I don't feel the weight of this bike while I'm riding. I just felt the weight of this bike while I was just turning it around, but while riding it's very nice, so comfortable, and suspension is not on stiffer side. The sales guy said the race suspension can be adjusted manually, but he recommended not to make any changes in the suspension. The front suspension is in the fixed position. We don't have an option to adjust it. I feel as if I'll have to extend my arm a bit, but it's okay, it's comfortable, man. With this riding posture we can do long rides with this. There wouldn't be any challenge at all. Brakes are also nice, man. Good braking response. Look at that suspension when I apply brakes. Massive tank, man. And I like the new design in this bike. See, my bad, I didn't get the change or cash. I only got the card. Illa tata, sorry. See, the power delivery in the lower revs is progressive. It's not aggressive like KTM Adventure 390. Do we really need that aggressive throttle response in adventure bikes in lower revs? I don't think so. See, the matter of fact is KTM Adventure 390's on-road price in Bengaluru is 4 lakhs, and this bike's on-road price is around 3.75 lakhs. The BS4 version of this bike's on-road price was around 4.4 or 4.5-ish. Now they have brought down the price. I think we'll have to buy the windshield as an accessory separately after purchasing this bike. I'm just trying to test the throttle response. That's all I'm doing. Now let me try to check the initial throttle response. Again, this bike is planted on the road, man. No vibrations at 80-90. But I'll have to take a test ride on highway to figure out if there are any vibrations on footbags or handlebars or mirrors. I don't think there would be any vibrations in this bike. Our delivery, as I mentioned before, is good post mid-range, but not in the lower revs. We can aramse do long rides in this. If you're a short guy, you will have to get used to this bike. If you're below 5'7" or something, it's better you come down and ride this bike and decide. This is one empty stretch. Suspension is so smooth, man. I had gone through some potholes there. I didn't feel as if my body was taking impact. Suspension was absorbing the impact, so that's a good thing. Two things that I like the most in this bike is, one is the suspension and the other one is the riding posture, comfortable riding posture. See, basically I own Duke 790. Somewhere down the line I feel as if I need to own another reliable, kind of affordable motorcycle for my long rides, because I can't take 790 for long rides. The reason why is I'm facing some issues with my 790. I have lost the confidence in terms of taking that on long rides. If something goes wrong, I'll have to just tow my bike all the way from nowhere to my place, so I don't want to take risks. So that's the reason why I'm just looking for one reliable, affordable motorcycle. I'm just testing all the motorcycles in 300 to 400cc segment in the market. If you have watched my previous video, I have already tested CB350, Honda Highness CB350, Royal Enfield Meteor. In next 1 or 2 days I'm going to test Java Parak. Then I'll be testing other bikes as well. This is a decent dashboard which gives the basic informations like trip data, speed, gear, fuel range, RPM range, time, something like that. That's okay. And there is no traction control as such in this bike, no electronics. It's a raw bike, just hop in and have fun. Now, I've been riding this bike for some time now in this bumper to bumper city traffic. I don't feel that heat coming out of engine. No heat at all, man. I think they have worked on the refinement of this engine. That's good part. The thing that I like in this bike is I feel as if I'm sitting in the commanding position. So that's good thing. Why are these two guys are looking at me like that? I'm dressed well. And bike's performance in lower revs in bumper to bumper traffic is awesome, man. I don't get to see this in KTM bikes, especially 390 segment bikes. That's one major difference I can notice over here. See, I am on second gear, 20 km/h. Bike is not asking me to upshift or downshift continuously. That's one positive aspect of it, because when you're doing some adventure, especially you're going through off-road, this is very much required for you, and you have to choose a bike which performs really good in lower revs in 20-30 km/h. So if you're not an aggressive rider, if you want to just cruise at a constant speed on highway with comfortable riding experience, kind of relaxed riding experience, this is the bike for you. That is what I felt while riding it. Calm, composed, relaxed. Let me go back to the showroom and have a word with this sales guy to understand the warranty parts, spare parts availability, service interval, on-road price, blah blah blah. Let me see you in the showroom. Oh, showroom is over here now. This is the 40 years GS edition bike. The stickering is different, right? The graphics. Now, what's the on-road price, and what all accessories do we get, or do we need to separately buy accessories?
Accessories you need to buy separately.
What all accessories you have?
The engine guard.
Engine guard.
Yeah, and the aluminum back plate.
Okay, this is plastic.
The fiber. If you want, you can opt for the aluminum.
Okay, we can go for the aluminum bash plate. Engine guard, then.
The hand protectors.
Okay, that's made of aluminum.
Yeah, we get the aluminum strip and the hard fiber in back.
Okay, it's going to take the impact when we fall, right? It's not going to break. That's the aluminum part. Okay.
If you want, you can add up the top box.
So this windshield,
Clear visor.
visor. So that is like the additional accessory that we'll have to buy.
Additional.
What's the cost of that?
This is cost around 3,500.
3,500. Okay, on offer it's around 3 to 4K. The thing that I like the most in this bike is the performance, comfort, and the performance in lower revs. 20-30, we can just do it all day. It is not going to get heated up soon. 33 is the mileage on highway. Okay. 26 to 30. Slipper clutch is also there. Okay, we get slipper clutch, LEDs, ABS, ride-by-wire, brake and clutch can be adjusted. They have worked a lot on this. I think they have improved this.
With the upgrade, whenever you go, there's always hike in the price.
Yes, but you have downgraded the price. Metzeler tires, good man. Metzeler tires for this bike, both front and rear. Metzeler. So what's the warranty? 3 years, unlimited kilometers.
Mechanical and electrical parts.
Mechanical and electrical parts. Okay. And is there an option to extend it?
Yes, sir. We have an offer running now. Actually, you can add up plus 2. So that would be 3 plus 2.
5 years.
5 years.
And how about the service intervals? First service is for 1,000.
1,000 kilometer or 1 month. And the second service is for 10,000 kilometer or 1 year.
It goes on.
Yeah, it goes on. Plus 10, plus 10.
Plus 10. Okay. And what's the estimated service cost?
Between 7 to 9K.
The pain part of owning a superbike is we don't have the spare parts. For example, I own Duke 790. They don't have all the spare parts all the time in their service center. If something goes wrong, they'll have to procure it from Austria. It takes more than a month due to COVID and all. So how about this bike? Do we need to procure the spare parts all the time, or it's already there somewhere in the plant here?
The normal wear out parts and all, the stock is usually there. Only if any major parts like the alternator.
It has to come from the other country?
Yeah.
Okay, remotely. Okay, if some customers are owning this bike in a remote location, you guys will make the list of all those customers, and the service team from BMW will go there. They set up the camp. Customers can get the bike there, and they will do the service over there itself. Are they going to charge extra for that? This is the only service center in Karnataka. There are no other service centers in this state. So you have the service centers in the major cities like Goa, Chennai, Cochin, Pune, Mumbai, and even in Kolkata also. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you again. Bye bye. Take care. So, guys, that's it for this video. And you will see me in my next video riding some other adventure bike or a cruiser bike or my Duke 790. Take care. Bye bye. ಓ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕಾಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಲು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡವ್ರೆ ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪ ದೇವ್ರೆ ಚೇಂಜು ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ನನ್ನ ಜಾಬ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಬಂದೆ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಯ್ತು ತಾತಂಗೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ 310R naked bike. Okay, good man. This riding posture is slightly aggressive. If time permits, I will make a separate video on this bike as well. Let's see how it goes.